Well, hello, friends. I'd like to invite you into our course, the Lunar Nodes 101 with Mark Jones. And I happen to have Mark with me here today to tell you a little bit about what he's going to present in the course. So thanks for joining me, Mark.
Hi, Tony. Nice to see you. Always good to see you.
You too,
Yeah,
you
pleasure to
too.
be here. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm so excited for this course because it's been a while since you've gone back to basics with the nodes and started from ground zero. So can you tell students who might be interested a little bit about what to expect?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've always been into the nodes, as you know, and in Healing the Soul, I touched them right in my first book. But in a sense, revisiting them for this course, going back to that principle, what are the first principles, has been incredibly exciting because the nodes just take us, I think, on the most simple route into the essence of astrology, in the sense that because of the relationship of the moon's orbit to the earth and the earth around the sun, the lunar nodes are always opposite each other. So they take us right into the heart of project astrology and its polarity. And I found over the years that students really struggle with that sometimes, that they've seen, and there's been this tendency to see, say, the south node as something that's been in the past, as something that's bad. Or so someone sees a south node in Libra and a north node in Aries in their chart. And I've had people genuinely upset with me, Tony. I had one lady cry once in the first few minutes of a reading, saying, I've got South Node in the seventh house, or South Node in Libra, North Node in Aries. Maybe I'm not meant to have a relationship. And I was genuinely touched by how heartfelt this was. I mean, she was profoundly upset by it. To me, it just seems this kind of crazy way of holding the polarity. The polarity invites us to hold both sides, the meaning of relationship, Libra, and the meaning of our own independence, Aries, that we don't get drowned by the needs of the other in our relationships. So the nodes for me take us into the essence of astrology and its polarizing structure in this search for a meaningful synthesis. How do we have loving relationships and maintain our independence is the Libra Aries axis that the nodes hold, say, if they were in those signs. And through looking at the nodal rulers, planets conjunct the nodes, planets squaring the nodes, we see these pressures on the learning curve of bringing these two polarities together. Bearing in mind, Tony, always the lunar nodes are the nodes of the moon being the most personal, emotional, psychological place. How we've come through our early childhood and our home life and our personal projects. And therefore, the moon's nodes are the sense of that personal project becoming a life path, becoming us in our little kayak through the river of life, propelling our own sense of personal meaning and evolution. And I think that's what's so joyous about the nodes, that they are the most simple and direct way to get into a person's felt sense of their own evolutionary journey and its meaning. And they're so technically simple, just these two opposite points. But when we look at their rulers, when we look at the way they balance the rest of the chart, when we look at planets conjunct or squaring the nodes, we get all this information about the kind of journey someone's on. And I find sharing that journey with people to be incredibly rewarding. This is very much a course that takes us into the heart of what's useful to say in a reading, what will touch people, because it's that sense of the most personal aspect of your life's path.
Beautiful. And I know that your work is informed by Dane Rudhyar's work. Can you tell folks a little bit more about that?
I can, and that was partly this intense research that we did recently that we published as the planetary nodes, which is a completely different kind of subject, the fact that all planets have nodes, but it led me through Rudhyar's work to reinvestigate all of Rudhyar's thinking of the nodes. So researching the planetary nodes saw me look at the lunar nodes again in a new light. And Rudhyar is passionate in his vision of orbital astrology. He is passionate that the nodes have to be held together, that they're created by the arc of a planetary motion, the orbit of the moon. They cannot be separated. And whilst I understand astrologers and I forgive them their need to create teaching, the cookbook style, it's for students. It's out of a kind of love for students. But people who've separated the south node from the north node, in a sense, have done the dragon's head and tail a disservice by cutting it in half. We need both of them to understand the arc of evolution. Your past isn't bad. It's not bad that where you came from. You don't move from one city to another and hate the previous city necessarily. So in this sense, the Lunar Nodes 101 is going to bring the lunar nodes back together as a process of meaning. And that's Rudhyar's great vision in the end. that the lunar nodes are part of what helps you understand the chart as the still point in a dance, that you've literally just photographed a dance at one moment. And the nodes help you realize the way the dance would have continued if the photograph was allowed to move. And when we can grasp that without having to go into huge technical analysis, we have this profound gift that we can offer the people that we look at their charts.
Beautiful. Such a healing vision, as you're so great at presenting. So thank you for that, Mark. And if you're interested now, if your curiosity has been piqued about the nodes, maybe you've always been curious about the nodes and you don't know how to work with them, this course is going to be from the ground up. So it's not going to be technically too complex. So this course is for you if you're in that boat. Just hit that button to sign up now and you'll get all the details about how to watch the material. So I hope that you join us, and thanks so much for taking some time out of your schedule today, Mark, to share this with us. Really appreciate it.
Such a pleasure. I look forward to working with everyone.